the touch up on an icing call. By the way, the Senators, as you can see, are playing in their heritage jerseys here tonight as we look at our key starting goaltender for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
There he is, Brent Johnson, 8-1-1 in his career. 2-0 as a Penguin right here against the Ottawa Senators. Getting the nod here tonight, Brent Johnson in his 301st game.
And Murray did admit the other drama has been removed by the fact that Sidney Crosby is not playing in the game. But this was the quote that came afterwards, and the key part down at the bottom there where he says, "I made a mistake. We didn't have Chris Neil and Matt Carkner play in the game. We didn't have enough toughness. So when we play Pittsburgh, that's something you can bring up to me again," which they did this week. But then he said, well, Sid's not playing now, so maybe it's not as big a deal as it was, but I still think it is. And of course, it helps when you have an excellent backup goaltender like the Penguins have in Brent Johnson. Dan Bylsma turning to him here tonight, and it was somewhat predictable when you look at the back-to-back situation and the number of games the Penguins are playing, and the fact that you have to get Brent Johnson in the lineup. You can't just have him sitting.
Well, he had a big game in his last outing, and the Penguins have won.
Play, boy. Following the Penguins on that shift.
No, was it ever? Ash, I'm talking to Neil right now. They came out of the box, and Malkin, he can't keep up. I mean, he is absolutely undressing Karlsson right now. McLean's got to be worried about that matchup. He was asked this morning who he was going to match up against that Malkin-Neil unit, and Kunitz as well. He said, well, Cowan's big and strong. Karlsson is not. He can skate. He can stay with Malkin, but he can't out-muscle him, and he can't out-reach him. And Malkin's got to love that matchup, I would. Look where the stick of Adams, his own stick, ends up. Well, I don't know. Well, you know, you kind of see it, but usually it's the other guy's stick, or I don't know what happened there. I don't even know how it got there. He's probably wondering right now. He went flying through the air. Next thing you know,
it's in there.
It was right lodged in his.
Chris Neil, he just ignored it. He just skates away.
Oh, I know. It's funny when you win it. And they're tied right now at 0-0. And 6 shots for the Pens. Kennedy, 14 points in 14 games in his career. And there's Pascal Dupuis playing in game 700 here tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Pascal Dupuis has got 299 career points in his career. Taking the face-off here against Jason Spezza.
Call against Pittsburgh.
First time 0 hours, 2 minutes, 34 seconds, 88 cents.
I mentioned Cowan, the first shift standing up. He's been doing it all period. Tang Grady must have heard the benches or saw Cowan coming. He dumps the puck by Cowan, gets it deep, and runs over Cowan. Tang Grady's got a little involved in this game. They're letting him play. His minutes, they're going to be up around 4 minutes at least, 4 to 5 minutes at the end of this first period of play. He's getting a good opportunity in this hockey game, 0-0.
Seconds to go in the period. In the first period.
Oh man, what a play by England on the 3-on-1. He faked towards Spezza. He moved off Spezza. He forced a dish pass. It was a bad pass, and nice job, Derek England.
There's our Fort Pitt Capital by the numbers first period recap. The Penguins coming all the way back to lead the shot category 11-9 to shoot the puck. He's made a lot of good shots, I think, and forced goalies to make good saves.
Yeah, Kenny's arms are going to fall off pretty soon, and Niskanen, boy, he almost got his head taken off in his own zone going back for a puck. There's a little bump on Foligno, but then as he's turned, he gets hit, but Neil let up at the last second just enough. Brent Johnson had his arm up. You see Brent Johnson? He was looking for a penalty. After Niskanen had got hit in the back from Neil, you saw Brent Johnson put his arm up looking for a penalty from the official. There was none.
Goal of the season, and his 4th goal in the last.
Leon Dogovins for running into Brent Johnson. He was aggressive there. He did draw contact, and the Senator is going to go to the penalty box for bumping into Brent Johnson.
Well, the Penguins need something good to happen here. Get on the power play, score a goal, get back into it. It's 3-1 Senators. Close. Sometimes they'll give it to you, but he wasn't close enough. Day Automotive this day in Penguins history. I mean, was it a sad day, really? Mario Lemieux played his final game. Remember, he had the problems with his irregular heartbeat and was unable to continue that season. Off the face-off, it's controlled and clear. Jacques Plante was the first guy, but Plante was the first goaltender to popularize the use of the mask. Benedict actually wore it first to cover up his nose, which had been broken. He had the bridge of his nose broken by a puck, so he wore that protective leather mask. And he's experimented with a few different ones as we get a collision.
With the Ottawa Senators right now, 2 power play goals. The Penguins come in 13th in the National Hockey League on the power play. 15th at home, 13 on the road overall. They were 12 for 66 coming in on the road. Now with a couple. They have not scored 3 power play goals in a game since February against the Rangers in last season.
And the Senators now shorthanded 140 times this year, among the most in the NHL. Carter's going to go to the locker room for repairs on that cut above his left eye. And the Senators coming into the game ranked 28th in terms of penalty minutes per game at 14.8. So they've got, and that was a dangerous scoring chance already just seconds into this period.
You got to be ready if you're backing up in any particular night. And Marc-Andre Fleury making that stop on Condra, scored against Marc-Andre Fleury in the first meeting between these two teams. And he's got to hold the fort, no question.
From a different source, and it's just the kind of thing that gets a team going a little bit.
Well, take a look at Martin. He got confronted by Chris Phillips up high, and they kind of legs connected. He was gimping to the front of the net and then went off and down. And then Neil got clipped what looked like maybe a high stick. Right there, just a...
Dogovic's got him.
Yeah, just a stick. Neil's back on the bench. Some good news for Pittsburgh.
Face off to the right of Alex Auld. Marc-Andre Fleury in net for the Penguins at the other end has replaced Brent Johnson here early in the third period. The Senators leading 5-3. Carl play in his 12th year as captain of the Senators, Alfredson. Our Energy Alliance energy player is Steve Sullivan.
Well, the last time he had 4 points, he's got 3 in this game. He had 3 back in February against the Rangers. You go back to 09, December of 09 versus Mini. Steve Sullivan had a 4-point game, and I'd like to see that again in this one. Kenny Malkin with 30 points on the season to lead the Pittsburgh Penguins. Neil and
that's all media speculation, an offside call at the blue line, but the way Carlson's playing, you never know.
Well, you talked about a streaky season for the Ottawa Senators. Let's take a look. First 6, they won 1, then they won their next 6, and then 5, they weren't able to put a W on the board. And now, you know, the same kind of thing, a little up, a little down for this hockey team that's trying to find themselves.